For those tuned into the Snipers channel, you know I've been talking about Ethereum showing better price action and more strength than Bitcoin over the last few weeks. And you can see Ethereum forming new all-time highs today once again with a high of 2737. And I talked about the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart being the key chart to watch in order to assume whether or not we're going to see new all-time highs with Ethereum. You can see we are continuing towards our price target of 53,000 Satoshis. And so Ethereum can go up in two different ways. Number one, if Bitcoin starts to see price action to the upside, it does increase the value of most cryptocurrency assets like Ethereum. However, if the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart is going up, that also affects the Ethereum price regardless of what Bitcoin is doing. And we're seeing this decoupling effect that we talked about over 2 weeks ago for those tuned into the Snipers channel once again. And of course, today when we look at what's happening to Bitcoin, you can see garden variety market behavior, and we've yet to come above the two roadblocks that we talked about yesterday at 56,150 and this 50-day moving average. And that to me is showing us that Bitcoin is still seeing sideways price action with low volume, as you can see here. And that to me shows us that the cryptocurrency market is favoring altcoins more than it's favoring Bitcoin at this current point. And we'll look into others' dominance in the total cryptocurrency market cap later. You guys are watching the Snipers channel. My name is Naeem Alabadi. If you appreciate this content, remember to smash the like button. First, I want to talk about what's happening to Bitcoin, then we'll transition into Ethereum and then traditional markets later as always. But notice here, as I'm talking about earlier, the $56,150 level and this 50-day moving average are two key levels for Bitcoin. And we need to get above these two roadblocks before assuming further upside for Bitcoin, or else any price action between 58,300 and 49,700 will be seen as garden variety market behavior, where we see sideways to a little bit higher price action as I've talked about. And notice how because we're seeing sideways price action, we're seeing altcoins like Ethereum see new all-time highs. And when we look at the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, notice how we saw this very bullish tail for today's daily candle that's closing in 5 hours, and we are way and above the weekly open. I talked about Ethereum's price action maintaining 46,180 Satoshis is the first hint that we're showing strength and we want to continue to the upside. And so far we've invalidated this bearish flaggish type of pattern. It looks like we want to continue to the upside. And so our next upside target for the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart is that 53,000 Satoshi level. And in my opinion, with this large gap in between current price action and where this upside target is, there is a potential we could see the big even of 3,000 US dollars reached for Ethereum, because we've already completed the symmetrical triangle breakout. Based on the base of this triangle, we had a target of 2,700, and now that we're maintaining price action at this area, that is a very positive sign for the Ethereum to US dollar price. And we still want to keep in mind that anything above this channel in the past has acted as an overbought region. So don't be surprised if we see garden variety sideways to a little bit higher price action before we reach that $3,000 level. But it does look like to me that there could be a potential case where we just see Ethereum break out. And we've seen this in the past where Ethereum has formed these long standing flaggish patterns before seeing massive upside. You can see here, back in December into January, we had this long period of consolidation where we had this flaggish type of pattern, and then we continued to the upside, and then you can see it happened again. We continued to the upside, and then it happened again, and then we continued to the upside. And so notice how Ethereum likes to consolidate and then continue to the upside, and it continues to form these higher highs before continuing to the upside. So it's a very interesting asset. It's extremely volatile, but we've talked about Ethereum over the last month being the stronger asset, and that's exactly what's happening right now with the Ethereum to US dollar price, and that is a direct effect of the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart. And talking about altcoins like Ethereum, let's look at the total cryptocurrency market cap chart. You can see the daily candle right now fighting to stay green, but we are maintaining some price action above the previous weekly open and this major channel resistance and the big even of 2 trillion. And I talked about that showing strength for the total cryptocurrency market cap chart for us to be above 2 trillion. So that's a very positive thing. We want to see continued upside at this point. We don't want to come back below 2 trillion if we want to assume further upside for the total market, and then others' dominance still maintaining this ascending support level, showing strength for altcoins. As long as we're above this level that really started at the start of this year in January, then that is bullish for the total cryptocurrency market and specifically for altcoins. And with Bitcoin dominance, you can see we're continuing to form new lows and we're continuing to see downside. And what walks like a duck and what talks like a duck and what runs like a duck 8 out of 10 times is a duck. And so we want to take it for what it is. 8 out of 10 times, if the trend is showing downward momentum, we can assume it's going to continue to see downward momentum. And then when we transition into traditional markets, we've been watching this DXY. We're going to have to give this a little bit of time because you can see the daily candles continue to close touching this 100 period moving average and this 20-week moving average. And realize this with price action. You might learn something here. When we reach a destination, two things happen. You either reach the destination and immediately turn into the other direction, or you reach the destination and you have a cup of coffee at the destination before assuming the next move. And so realize that until we start to see full daily candles, bodies and wicks close either below or above the 100-day moving average for the DXY, we don't know what direction it wants to go. It's currently having a cup of coffee, and that's something that assets do when they reach a destination. It's one of the potential scenarios out of two scenarios. And so when you reach a destination, if you're having a cup of coffee, you need to start watching the daily candles, watch the macro movements. And so we want to continue to monitor this because if we start to see candles close above the 100 period moving average here on the DXY, that could assume that we're going to see downside in traditional markets, and that would affect cryptocurrency markets. You can see the S&P 500 is kind of forming a flat top here. So there is a potential we could see the S&P 500 come down below the weekly open and previous weekly open. I don't know if that's going to be the case yet. We're still showing new all-time highs in strength, and what walks like a duck and talks like a duck is 8 out of 10 times a duck. But we know that all the international markets have already seen price action towards their 50-day moving average, and the S&P 500 is the last domino piece. So that international market puzzle piece needs to be considered when we're looking at the S&P 500. And if it does start to come down below that 4165 level, when we're looking at the E-futures mini contract for the SP 500, then this could affect the cryptocurrency market. So we want to monitor that. And then gold, you guys can see here, still showing that this channel resistance is important. Price action above the weekly and previous weekly open. So that is very good. Once again, when you reach a destination, you either have a cup of coffee and then continue to the next destination, or you reach the destination and turn right back around. So far we're having a cup of coffee. Confirmations of further upside will really come when we're above the 100 period moving average for gold, which is sitting right at the big even of 1800. And then if we start to see price action below the weekly open of 1777, then we could start assuming potential downside if we start crossing below 1764. And so that's what I'm watching for gold. And then I'm going to leave you with another puzzle piece. If we invert this gold to Bitcoin chart, we've been watching this chart because in 2017, when Bitcoin's price against another hard asset like gold came below its 50-day moving average, it did form a downward channel where we saw price action continue to the downside, and that was right in December of 2017. And so we're seeing the same thing, and realize that we're testing this 50-period moving average, but here's the puzzle piece I want to leave you home with. You realize here with the silver chart, we are starting to wick into this 50-period moving average. If we start to see a precious metal like silver or gold continue further above this 50-day moving average and close complete candles above this level, then we could assume that the top has yet to be reached for Bitcoin. And so this is a potential confirmation of a top if we continue to the downside. And so we want to monitor this because we're testing the 50-day moving average. If we get above, it could just be the trick, trap, and frustrate crew coming in and bringing the value of gold against Bitcoin below the 50-period moving average before continuing higher. But we want to address this because it's the first time this has happened since the bull rally has started. And so this is food for thought and something to take home. And with that, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you want to win one of my favorite books on investing, Principles by Ray Dalio, comment below and share this video. You'll have a chance to win. I'll pick a winner from our video yesterday. Let's see here. Nolan Goodall says, you really should be getting way more views. Thank you so much for the kind words. Send me a message on Instagram. The link is in the description below. And with that, thank you all for tuning into the Snipers channel today. Until next time, Snipers out.